We're back. The 420 report, triumphant return. Did you miss me? Did you miss me, Facebook friends? I hope you did. I'd feel bad if you didn't. Whoever's watching, just go ahead, leave a comment. Hit me up with a thumbs up or a thumbs down or an angry face or a laugh or a sad, whatever, maybe a little heart icon. If you're so inclined, hit the share button. It is just very good to be back here in the live fake talk show studio for my daily live fake talk show, the 420 report. And while I am letting the audience build up here, we've only got a couple of viewers right now, which is fine. I took a couple of weeks off, about a week and a half off, and I want to give a shout out to my brothers in arms, all the other members of my pirate crew that I set sail on for 8 days straight last week at the Mississippi Valley Fair. That would be Mad Mike Walker, the Oak, Ron Cameron, and the infamous Justin Hill, all reuniting to throw down the Swashbucklers Comedy Pirate Show 4 times a day in the hot sun on blazing, steaming concrete, making the fairgoers laugh their asses off. It was also a lot of fun because I was joined by my 16-year-old son. He actually turned 16 halfway through that run, and he's third generation Danley to be in show business. I remember back in the day I used to do that show with my dad. He joined the crew about my 3rd year in, and he was just a part-time weekend warrior, so to speak. And so it was a lot of fun, man. It's very cool to be able to show my son exactly what goes on behind the scenes. He served as the sound tech and special effects person that would push all the buttons to make the gags go, things like that. He had to learn comedy timing and how to follow the script and do things on cue and in their proper order. And meanwhile, it's probably a lot of fun. At least I hope it was a lot of fun for him, working alongside 4 other grown men, talking trash in the backstage dressing room, experiencing obstacles and problems in real time, having to come back, figure those things out. He got to see me get out of my comfort zone. It wasn't just doing stand-up comedy that I usually do. This was actually character comedy. This was family comedy. This was team comedy, which you don't see very much these days. This is why it's a thrill for me to get together with these guys, function as a team. I love that shit. That's why I like working with my co-star on the He Said, She Said comedy show, Katrina Brown, where we get on stage together in an encore Q&A, making up material off the top of our heads based off of the questions and comments that the audience sends our way. So it was a lot. It was very much. It was a great experience. I loved having him on board to see that because I had to get out of my comfort zone. I had to play a character that I had never played before. And acting is not exactly a fucking strong suit of mine. I tried being a theater major in college, got kicked out. To this day, I still don't even know what stage right or stage left is. When they explain it to me, I get it. But, I still, is it from the audience's perspective? Is it from the performer's perspective? I really don't know. So it's good for me to have my son along with me, where he saw me operating outside of my comfort zone, doing something that I don't normally do and have to experience all of the trials and tribulations and challenges that go along with it. So I went out there and I would make mistakes. I would go out there and I would screw up some of the jokes and some of the bits because I was just learning it. And they'd come back and they'd give me direction. I was glad that he saw his dad having to take direction from the guys who were in charge of the show. So that way he could see that sometimes you're going to go out there and you're going to kick ass and you're going to come back and it's going to be an ego boost. It's the same thing as stand-up comedy. Sometimes you're going to do you're going to be totally in the flow. You're going to be in the perfect state of mind that just fucking gets on stage and totally crushes it. You get the ego boost. But then there's a lot of times you're making yourself vulnerable in front of a live audience. You're doing something outside of your comfort zone, and it's gonna be an ego bust. You gotta be able to handle both properly, the ego boost and the ego bust. You know, I see a lot of performers, they get that ego boost and then they think that they can do no wrong. They think that, oh shit, now I'm ready for my own late night talk show. Well, hey, you know what? And before you're gearing up for your very own late night talk show, maybe just try putting on your very own afternoon, daytime fake talk show on Facebook Live, you know, or YouTube, or fucking Twitter Periscope, or whatever the case may be. Like, we've got these things now. We've got these video cameras. We've got our cell phones. These are all broadcasting stations, you know what I mean? Plus, it's fucking fun. These comedians, you know, these performers, they'll get an ego boost, and then it's like they get a little bit, their head gets just a little bit too big, and then it's difficult for them to take any kind of criticism in order to improve or tweak or grow. I like being the low man on the totem pole. I like being able to bring just enough skills that it contributes value to the group and to the team dynamic, but be low enough on the totem pole where I'm not the best one in the room. I want to be the worst one in the room. So that way I can absorb the knowledge and the experience, the insight and the advice from those who are higher up, who have a little bit more going on, you know, from the mentors. It's very difficult sometimes when you go around and you're doing live comedy, 90-minute sets, which, you know, most comedians don't do that. A lot of comedians can. I'm not the best one at it, but I'm one of the few that does do it. And when you're doing that, you know, you don't run into a whole lot of other guys that are higher up on the totem pole than you. It's usually I'm bringing along an up-and-comer to be a warm-up act or to be the opening act, whatever, you know, to be the feature and to help host the show. And that they're looking to me for advice. And that's good, too. You need to have mentors and mentees. I like having somebody that I can bring along that I can teach. You know, you don't truly master your craft unless you can also teach others to do it. That's definitely part of it. But I really, 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 really appreciate having the mentors at my disposal that I can learn from, because that's what makes me better. And more performers would be better suited if they had an attitude like that. Look for mentors, look for coaches, even if it's your quote unquote art and you're doing it all from the heart. You know, it's just comedy that I feel it. I just feel it in my heart. That's the way I wrote the joke. That's the only way I'm going to do the fucking thing. Get the hell out of here, man. There's always, we can all improve. There's always ways to improve. It doesn't matter whether you're doing comedy, whatever industry you're in, there's a way to improve. So I really enjoyed my son, who's teenager, seeing his dad have to go through that growth process, experience the growing pains of learning something new, and then coming out the back end that much better. And here I am on my daily live fake talk show, the 420 Report. Triumphant return, baby. I'll be back at it again, throwing down my 90-minute live JerDog Comedy Roadshow this Friday night in Chelsea, Michigan, at Ugly Dog Distillery. I've never been at a vodka distillery before, so that's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. And I will put the show dates that I've got coming up the rest of the month in the description above or in the comments below. This Saturday night, I'm definitely stretching my comfort zone by playing in front of, it's a private show. I usually don't do a whole lot of these. Most of my shows are 100% for public consumption, ticket buyers. But this Saturday night, I'll actually be performing for a class reunion. And those can always be a little tricky. You got to kind of operate out of your comfort zone because they're already all friends and they all have their own sense of humor and their inside stories that they're telling. I've done class reunion shows before. And the challenge for me isn't necessarily in the content, but it's in overcoming that dynamic of now I have to be the life of the party of their fucking party, you know? It's like they don't care that I'm going to be rated R. I made that perfectly clear when they booked me. I'm like, dude, you've seen my show, right? You know that it's no holds barred, and I'm probably going to drop a few F-bombs. He's like, absolutely, that's what we're looking for. But the dynamic that, it's the toughest to overcome is the fact that they're all friends. They probably haven't seen each other in a long time, a lot of them. They want to tell all the old stories from back in the day. And then out of nowhere, it's going to be, all right, everybody, shut up and listen to this jackass talk about his life for 45 minutes, an hour or so. So I'll let you know how that goes, but I'm looking forward to it. Traveling up to Michigan this week. If anybody out there watching right now, be it live or on the replay, and you are in the North Michigan area, come on out. Ugly Dog Distillery this Friday night, August 9th in Chelsea, Michigan. I'll also be going back to Michigan next week, Alpena, and what's the other one? Dryden, Michigan. Alpena, Michigan, and Dryden, Michigan. That's the August 16th and 17th. Then I've got a show in Iowa, Dubuque, Iowa, at a brewery on August 23rd. Taking Friday night off, a rare Friday night off, prime real estate for Mrs. JerDog and I to have a date night. And then Saturday, August 24th, I'm going to Decatur, Illinois. We're playing at the Decatur Conference Center and Hotel. August 30th, I go to somewhere in Nebraska. Anyway, I'll look it all up and I'll let you know. I'll be back tomorrow with another live video at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time or as close as possible. Until then, Dog bless America.